setup, I gotta say, that Vemma has put on with our whole company. And I want to, first start out saying I feel fortunate and blessed to be up here. Not only to the Lord for the whole ride, the whole adventure of building the business and guiding me along the way, but also to my parents for keeping me focused, keeping me grounded, and keeping me humble in what we're doing. And to all the Vemma family, not only my organization, but all the leaders across my teams that from day one, have been encouraged and supported myself and many of our team along the way. So my hat's off to you. And I want to know if you are excited to be here this week. Are you excited about the revolution? And I think my dad said it so well that this is something that is a phenomenon. Sitting there and I'm so excited to be able to hear Anthony and his story and all the accomplishments he's had in the industry. The culture. One thing I took from Anthony, he says he helped build a culture for his team, for his people. And I think that's the thing you'll leave here this weekend. He said there's a family feel, there's a culture that you will leave with after you are here, and you're going to be excited to know you're working with people that really know where they're going ahead in life. And I think that's the one thing that along the way, he said, so many great things talking about his mentors. I learned in this business that people in life follow people that know where they're going. So lock arms with us, get excited about the revolution, get excited about the story, and really, your story. Because I'm going to share a few thoughts, really if I could say, if I was starting today, if I was going to start today, what would I focus on? What would I do? And really, speeding it up, getting the ball rolling, getting that momentum that Anthony talked about, to really, to become a success story. And I think that's the one thing that we put so much emphasis on, especially with even the young people. Where are the YPRs at? You guys here? Where you at? A pretty neat party. I don't know if you checked it out. This is the DJ booth, so we're gonna have a pretty sweet event tomorrow night. But real quick, and especially if you're here, if this is your first event. I was taught in this business that events change lives. Events change lives. Events are also a battery recharge. So if you're here this weekend, I really believe that you are going to feel this. We're going to raise your belief. We're going to raise your belief about Vemma, about the YPR, about her, about all these things you're hearing, the stories, the health side of the product, the stories about the business. But we want to raise your belief if you're new here, this is your first event, so that you leave and take massive action. That's the one thing that so many young people and so many people that are having that kind of success is that massive action. And then from that point, I learned when you get good results, my dad taught me, you'll do it over and over again. And that's the point being here this weekend. So one is to raise your belief if you're new. And I'm going to tell you my story. You're going to hear a lot of stories. Your belief will go out the roof. You will be fired up and excited leaving here to go and develop your story, your future. But if you're in the business, these events are a battery recharge. It's going to help you get focused. You got to get clear goals, like my dad said, a clarity of your purpose, a clarity of goals. And I really believe that this weekend is going to be amazing. It's going to change your life. And it's frustrating because there's people that I'm thinking in my group that I work with, people that I know that are not here this weekend, and I know they're going to miss out. So my hat's off to every one of you being here, taking the time, the effort, the money, and I can guarantee you, you will be impressed. So real quick, I'm going to touch on a couple things, and not necessarily my whole story, but really, it's been an adventure, getting to work with BK and all of the Vemma family. But really, my life has changed so much in the last, not only 6-7 years, but really the last year and a half as well. And it's crazy because I think if you're here and you're new to the business, the Vemma story has changed so much since we first started. It's become a whole different story and a whole different excitement. You can feel that, and many of the leaders would agree with that. And I'm excited for you because there's a big movement. This revolution is starting to happen. And I think it's really around three stories. And I hope you make a note of this. And it's number one, around the Vemma product. You know, the product, Vemma as a health product, is you're going to hear a lot of great innovation. It's doing amazing things for people and how they feel physically. But at the same time, you're going to hear the story that a lot of people are using the Vemma product to build a part-time and also even a full-time income. Why? Because people are losing their jobs. Companies are closing their doors. Pay cuts are happening. So it's forcing people to find other means. That's why you're here this weekend. That's why I'm here this weekend. So you're going to hear that story. Number one, you're going to hear the story around the body product and how, hey, you know, hey man, let's get in touch. I want to help you get in shape by summer. Let's get you in a new car. And you're going to start to hear and understand what it's going to take to build your business with body, and especially for all the YPRs and the young people, the storyline that is now coming out, the revolution of young people with the job market, the student loan crisis, and working minimum wage. We all know that it's not that fun. So we are excited here. We're excited about, you know, our future. I'm excited for your future to see your success story, but really focus on those three things and around how Verve as a product is much better than all the other energy drinks on the market. So with that, you know, thinking back, because you guys, when I first started in Vemma, there was no Verve. So I kind of laugh because I think, especially for the young people, but for everyone, because there's a lot of people that are not in school. I always said to Mr. Bergen, they're just more educated. You know, they're more experienced. And so people that are having great success with young people in their business that are not in that age, the college age. But you know, I think what you're gonna really, you know, laugh at is the fact that it's so much simpler now. It's so much easier. Because when I started, I look back, we didn't have Verve. We didn't have Verve. We didn't have the credibility with the sons and the different resources that we talk about when we share the story, when we share the product. You know, we didn't have the app. We didn't have the technology and the things that we can use to speed up. I mean, I laugh thinking that my dad back in the day had to build this off a fax machine, because I'm sure that would take a while. And so the technology, you guys, but the story is evolving. This story about Vemma, this revolution is evolving, and the most exciting thing is you are in the middle of it right now. This tornado is spinning, and you just got dropped right in the middle, and it's going to change your life. Again, some people that are in your team are not here this weekend. You know, again, great to have everybody on Ustream, but you know, I look at events, as I said, events change lives, because when I look at it, it's like watching the DVD of a concert and then going to the concert. Huge difference in the experience, and so I really encourage you to take everything you can out of this weekend, you know, hearing stories like Anthony Powell and many, many others you're going to hear, and why this company is on the rise. You have to take massive action. But when I started, you know, it was a lot different. You know, I had graduated school. For many of you, if I've never had a chance to meet you, I don't have a degree. I don't have my AA, so I'm still working towards that. But the point is, when I started, you know, back out of high school, I started at 19 in this business. I had no interest in the business. At the time, I was doing a different venture. I was doing a little home audio video stuff. I graduated with the dream of playing college basketball. And looking back at where I was, I think Anthony, you know, said it so well. He says, my why and my goals, my dream board was so much different then as it is now. And I feel like I can somewhat relate to that, because when I first started in Vemma, it was just such a different why. It was the car, it was these different things. And I'll share a few of my goals personal at the end as well. But the point is it was so much different. The story was different, and it was a lot more difficult for my team. And you know, it took me basically about 4 years to reach the level of Star Ambassador. If you don't know what that is, you'll learn as you go. And I think that I look back, and it was all the times that I went to events, and for some of you that are here this weekend, people didn't show up. The events I did, and people didn't get on board. You know, the frustrations, the different things along the way. And I want you to leave here knowing that if you're in the business, if you have been dealing with it, yeah, we have the same thing. But it's fighting through that, it's being consistent, it's focused on your future. Because some of you, especially for you young people, I talk, you know, to a lot of you at different events, and this is an opportunity where when you're at this age to build and to learn this kind of business, to take advantage of what's happening right now. Some of us will be able to retire your parents. You know, I love that idea of being able to, you know, Ronnie and others be able to get into retirement. Why? You can build a business in the college market, and now these young people people are going to get excited and they're going to get focused on their future, retiring their parents, buying a home. How many young people would like to buy a home? Okay. Well, we all know it's going to be tough on 30 grand a year. So the point is, you got to get into a different game, and that's why I'm excited to hear this weekend. You took the time, you took the effort, and like Alex says, you got to light yourself on fire and start to tell the story. You got to share the story, and you need to be an example to others, because one person, Jed and many of our other leaders, I took this from Jed. He says, "You're 2 people away from exploding." You're 2 people away from exploding, and I can so relate to that, because for all the people in my business that we were working together, we're building. For the first 4 years, it was such a different story, a different style of building, and I think and I talked to some of the young people about this. I'm like, man, for the YPR story, it took 5 years of being in Vemma until I met Alex. Think about that. Think of all the meetings I did, the time and effort, that we put into the business. But I can tell you this, it's worth it. It is so worth it to be able to create yourself a lifestyle like Anthony showed you, the time freedom, the financial freedom, the peace of mind. As he said at 26, he was financially retired. I mean, you get bored, man. You don't do anything. You want to stay active, but you get financially to that point where you don't have to worry about the money. Like you said, that you want to be financially independent, and I think that's such an exciting thing for the revolution, for all the young people here this weekend, and it's a great thing for the people that are not in the school demographic. Why? You can find them. You don't have to be that young guy. Go find that one, and it will change your whole life. So real quick, guys, again, I grew up playing basketball. That whole dream didn't happen. We were in a bad wreck and got into home audio video. It was a passion I loved, and technology and high definition. Jeff, remember I was doing flat screen TVs and racing around Southern California. And I got introduced to the product from my parents. Little interest in the business because of my priorities and things at that time. But it was going to the events. I started seeing the results people have with the product. But I went to these events and I saw the success stories. I saw the stories of people, which raised my belief. It raised my belief. I remember the first convention I came to in 2006, and I was dying. And I think back to these years and the time and the effort we put in, and again, it's so worth it. But Vemma and where we are now is such a better point in time. Again, you were in the middle of the storm, the perfect storm, and you got to take action. But basically, started sharing the product with TV clients and realtors. Over 4 years, fortunate to reach a solid level in the business, and yet I wanted to grow. I was ready for change, and I think that's where all of us are here this weekend. We're ready for change in our lives to really set ourselves up for the future. And then I got a random phone call. And I take my hat off and I'll say, this gentleman, Marty, we worked with, I know he's here, and I definitely owe so much to Marty for being persistent to have me go meet Alex for lunch. And as I started to think about it, there's a couple things that I'll touch on with the YPR movement, but it's such an exciting thing to see, because when I first met Alex, I remember sitting down and it was such a funny thing. We started talking, I'm like, wow, I don't know if our friends have the money for this kind of business. If you're thinking of young people, do we have the money? I don't know, we're on a budget. Well, we find money for, partying, shopping, Xbox. You find the money for Starbucks, soda, energy drinks. So again, I saw that the need, we talked about the need. Well, the need was there because Alex, the first thing he said, he's like, I don't want to graduate and have to get a corporate job. And that was the focus. That was my goal. And as you leave here this weekend, I challenge you to know the goals of the people in your business. That will go so far, because then you take the focus off of you and you focus on helping that person reach their goal and get what they want. But so for 4 years of building, a lot of home events, a lot of the Vemma story, and then I basically owe so much to my mentor, Bob Proctor, because give it up for Bob. If you're here, and give me some coaching. The summer I met Alex, and it was like a God thing that I was meeting with Bob Proctor and started working in the college market. And it was this quantum leap that he taught me, this mindset of changing, creating. He says, if you want something to change, you've got to create a new model that makes the old one obsolete. So I'm sitting there thinking, I met Alex, I'm like, okay, he likes it, the more he likes it. And I can probably agree, everybody will tell you here, the people love it, the thumbs up, they love the taste, people love our products. But number two, he says, look man, if I make money in this, my friends will want to do it. So it really became as clear as water to me that this is a whole new market. And it was a little bit, I didn't really understand, exactly how it would go down, but I saw the excitement, I saw the passion, I saw the sense of urgency. And then from that point, and I remember, from there we started working together in Arizona State, and I remember we were walking, BK had invited me to go to do an event in Charlotte, and he said, you want to bring anybody? I asked if I could bring Alex. And we're walking to the plane, and we're talking to each other, and we're like, dude, this is like a young people revolution. And I'll never forget that. I'll never forget that day, and to look at where we are now. I gotta tell you guys are in the middle of the right place at the right time. So, from that point, the whole YPR and the young market has been working the last year and a half for about 2 years now, and it's going in so many different directions. For even, and for so many others, it's starting to happen. You're going to see this movement and excitement, because what are we focused on with the young market? Goal setting, leadership and speaking, personal development. These are the things that we focus on. And again, a disclaimer, because I know you hear a mixed story sometimes. I believe in education 100%. If you're in school, I would encourage you to stay in there and get your degree. Because here's what it's going to allow you to do. It's going to allow you to be in a field, in a market, to be able to market to a lot of people that are looking and that would be excited about this. And again, I was talking to some young people at my house the other night. I said, what if you could build this like a madman? What if you could get so excited about this, about your goals and where you can take this, so that, you got your degree, you're an architect, or you're a teacher, you're a nurse. You can go do that for fun. And see, that's what this kind of business allows you to do. It will allow you to create that lifestyle, to create that time freedom, to maybe go and do maybe some different types of work, but where you're not strapped necessarily on what you planned on as a career. This can be your career, this can be your future, and it'll allow you to do all the things you want to do. And so, from that point, guys, it's definitely exciting because we're focused on different things, not the party, not the girls, not the party, all the things that the college experience is putting in front of young people. And again, I think the timing right now that this has never been done for every one of us here today. I'm so excited to see where we will be, not only just by summer, but imagine this time next year. I mean, look around real quick, and look at all the people that are still checking in. And I gotta tell you guys, I really believe this could be the biggest thing ever in network marketing. And again, you have the chance to really create your story, and that's what you're going to do here this week. So, if I was starting today, what would I focus on? And what would I do, in order to really start to get underway, to get that momentum Anthony talked about, to become a success story. And then, my dad says that the facts tell, but the stories sell. The facts tell you what's in the product, the facts tell you the numbers, but the story is what sells it. And that's what I want you to leave here this weekend thinking is if I was starting today, I'd be asking myself, where am I at in my life, where am I at, where do I want to go, and what's my story? And I think I can kind of, attest to that, because developing your story is really the key that I want you to be thinking here, and I think this is a key point. When I do home events, right, when I'm telling a story, I'm meeting with new prospects, or I'm working the business, I'm focused on telling them the story because I think they can relate to that. And I think number one is they want to know who you are. I don't meet a new person, or I don't talk to a person I know about getting on board with Vemma, and I don't just start rambling about, hey Jeff, man, you got to sign up for this thing and make money. I want to build my rapport. I want that person to know who I am, where I came from, and that's why I share my story, about basketball, the TV business, and then through the years of Vemma. So my question to you is, who you are, and I don't care if you're working minimum wage. I don't care if you're working maybe on the lower numbers of a corporate situation or a higher corporate situation. Everybody has a purpose. Everybody has a story, and people want to know who you are. And again, it's short. It's a 1 or 2 minute thing. But when you're developing your story in your mind, this is how we've had so much success with young people. Is you got to know and what to talk about. Is who you are, real quick. Where you're from. Hey guys, I'm Brad Alcazin. Hey, I'm from San Diego, California. I just share my quick background, and you want to get that polished. Brian Tracy taught me. He said you're either good at recruiting, you're good at telling the story, or you're good at closing. Ask yourself that. Are you good at talking to new people to get into an event? Are you good at sharing the story to get the message, to get that presentation, that message, that bridge? Or are you good at closing the meeting? Those three things are things to think about, but especially one of the biggest things that you're going to want to focus on is who you are, where you're from, and here's the most important thing. Why you decided to do this? Why are you doing this, Jeff? What's up, man? Why did you invite me here? Because I learned in this along the way, people want to know a couple things. Number one, I want to know, Jeff, why you're doing it and what's in it for me. And if you can share your story, and you can be, and it's genuine, and it's honest. I learned that in just the traditional business, people don't want to buy, people don't want to be sold, they want to buy. And it's so true. Nobody wants to be sold anything. I want to feel good about what I'm getting into. So people kind of want to know the background of who you are, and you want to relate. Relatability to build your rapport is a key point. Next point. Again, if you heard it with Anthony, you heard it with Juliette, and you're going to hear it all weekend long, you need to establish goals. You need a goal, and I'm going to kick it off. And the first thing is the customer referral program and the frenzy bonus. You need a 7-day goal. If you're new in Vemma and you're here this weekend, you want to leave here thinking, okay, I'm going home for my Sunday, and the end of the week closes Thursday at midnight, and I want a 7-day goal. I'm going to have goals coming right out of this weekend into where I want to take my business. And that coming from, if you're new, you definitely, and even if you're not new in the business, cash flow is so important along the way that if you can frenzy makes, that frenzy bonus or a double frenzy and keep yourself in the game, that's going to help you along the way. But establishing a goal, a weekly goal, specifically one in the frenzy bonus, and again the customer referral program, that is going to allow you to, because I know psychologically, when you're not out anything, that's a great feeling. That's a good feeling. Hey, Ruth, I got my product for free. Hey, it's all green. It's all positive from here. And I know that's made a huge difference with so many here this weekend. So establish your goals. All right? And also a 30-day goal. A 30-day goal, somebody said, a goal without a deadline is like a wish. If you don't have a deadline, if you're not 30 days out of where you want to be and where you want to be at in the business, you're just floating. It's a warm bath. You want to have clear focus on where you want to go. I had my goal last 30-day period, and I was able to achieve that because my dad taught me what you think about grows. You think about the party tonight. For all you young guys who want to go out and rage and wild out, that's cool. I'm going to get to sleep and get up tomorrow because I know how important I want my business to grow. So what you think about grows. You think about friends, you think about the customer program. What you think about grows every time. So don't worry about everything else right now. Focus on your future. Because again, some of you guys, we have the chance, the opportunity to write. I love the decor. I love the theme, the revolution theme. Looking at the Michael Jordan quotes and the Steve Jobs and the Zuckerberg and the Marilyn Monroe. How cool is that? Because those people had clear goals, whether it was in basketball or in Apple or it was in Facebook. And that's the one thing thinking, what I was going to share on is we're also focused on everybody else's story. The Zuckerberg and the Drakes and all the big cool stories that are out there on TV. But what's yours? What's your story? And I can tell you, if you make this a priority, you start getting 30-day goals. And the one thing that I really realized that, leaders do, leaders will have a 30-day goal, but they turn around and they make sure their team does it at the same point. So again, if you're new in the business, a couple things to focus on. If you're in the business, it's time to get your blood flowing. Let's help you get on your feet, become confident and comfortable so you can share your story and reach the levels you want to reach. Get a 90-day goal, where you want to be by summer, where you want to be by early summer, in a new car. I want to get my car paid for, I want to be in the car program, and I want to be making, a little over $1,000 a month, and I can't imagine what my whole life will change. Your whole life will change when that happens. And again, goals are critical in achieving success and really staying focused because, again, you guys, it isn't a way. It's going to have little ups and downs, and this is going to keep you focused. And so from that, establishing goals. If I were new and just getting started for the first time, the power of your list. I say all the time, if you don't make a list, it's like you're peeing in the wind. You don't know what you're doing because the problem is I got Mike, I got Jim, I got Lisa, I got Zach, I got Ryan, I got all these people on good list, I'm probably talking about 100 to 300 people. Because everybody in this room has a Facebook, and everybody has a phone book, and probably a Rolodex. And so the point being is that, you want to get a good list, because logically, let's say I talk to 10 people, 3 get on board. Well, if you know the numbers of a diamond, it's probably about 100 orders in your business. 3 is not going to turn into 100 that quick. So the list is so critical to keep that evolving door that my dad said it so well. You don't need to focus on other things if you focus on a good list. And again, that newest person making that list of 100 or 200 contacts that they know that have health issues, people that work out in the fitness world, people that drink energy drinks, people that party, that kind of stuff, people that are looking for change. They're sick of their financial situation and they want to grow. And so the point being is the list will help you. I encourage you, pen and paper, quiet time, knock it out, and it will make a huge difference. And then prioritize things. I put an asterisk or a star, a 2-star, or whatever, a 3, and I prioritize based on the desire, because I guarantee you will realize in this business, sometimes you want more for your friends or more for the person you're talking to than they want for themselves. And it's frustrating because, again, you see the potential in them, but don't get hung up, because you know what, you're going to learn this, it may not be the right timing for her. It may not be the right timing for that guy. Okay, for the first year of me in Vemma, I didn't do a lot of business. The timing wasn't right. I didn't take action, and I look at that 2 years was lost time. But the point is, if you prioritize and you really focus on the list based on desire and potential, you will be able to start clearly seeing your team, your organization will visually in your mind map out. And again, it's a sorting process, but the power of your list, if I was just getting started today, I'd be focused on my story, who I am, where I came from, why I'm doing this. I would definitely focus on the list. It makes a huge difference. I carry it everywhere. If it's on your iPad, if it's in a little notebook, if it's in your backpack or whatever, I carry the list and I meet people all the time and I write down, I'm going to follow up that guy. I was driving through In-N-Out and this guy was talking about, hey, what do you do? We were talking briefly and he went to my high school and I basically I wrote it down. So I got to follow up. You've got to carry that list and keep adding to it. For some of the people that are in the business, if you're stuck, my dad says it so well, and for all you young guys and ladies, don't take this to heart, but it's so much easier to make a baby than to raise a dead. It's easier to make a baby than raise a dead. And the point is, if you're stuck, go talk to some new people. Go back to your list. Go back in and think of those 1 or 2 people you didn't talk to. Because, again, you don't know what you don't know. I'm not going to sit here and tell all my friends about how I'm financially frustrated and these things. You just got to assume that this is coming. You got to assume or out there looking for an opportunity. I guarantee you, if I sat with every person in this room and I looked at 100 or 300 friends of yours on Facebook, I said, hey, this guy would be great. We got to tell them the story. We got to share your story. Okay, remember, Anthony says, so what, we won't care about what you know until they know about you, until they know that you care. And that's so true in building a business to a big level. So, on the power of your list, one of the biggest things that we focus on and building on a weekly basis is this topic right here. If I was new to Vemma, I would master this, I would get with my upline, I would figure it out, and I would get polished, and I'd learn how to set up an appointment or invite people to an event. My dad shared it in the last couple of topics. I'm going to reiterate it why. It's the key to the ball. There's a right way to invite and a wrong way. I've learned that, and everybody, some groups here have different little styles and different things like that, but the point is that you lock arms with your upline and you learn the invite, you learn that approach. Again, if you invite the right way, they're usually down to hear about it. If not, they're going to brush you off. And here's the advice for you. If you're in the business and you're not getting people to the event, you're not inviting right. Make adjustments. Again, Bob, my mentor, when we met, for breakfast, he helped me make adjustments. It was that quantum leap. It was changing the model, the paradigm. You're going to hear that from him tonight. I'm so excited about that. So, learn, the invite. Learn how to approach, practice it with your uplines. My dad would coach me and mold it and mold it and mold it until I was confident and comfortable, and it was getting results. So, the power of your list, the power of the invite. Again, this is fundamentals, you guys. You're going to hear it. But the fundamentals are key in building a business, to build a big business. And the ones that are, doing well, they make the list, they learn how to invite, and we start to tell the story. The ones that are great, you're going to hear these stories this weekend, have turned around, and they help every single person in their group make that list. They teach them the invite, and they help them with their home events. They help them tell the story until that guy becomes a successful.
Yeah.
So practice with your two uplines, or practice with uplines, and then get busy. Some of us need to turn on the gas and get rolling and get busy, because right now, the timing is now, and you do not want to miss what is going to happen in the next 3 to 5 years. Get busy with home events. Our motto is a home event culture. If you've not had a home event, I encourage you to lock arms with us, and let's help you have a few home events. It's not hard. The 30 minute, I said it at an event the other night. I said to a young guy, I said, man, if you did a meeting a day. Now, a meeting could be an airbred, Ruth that built a huge business, and then, we build it at home events, we can build it at Starbucks or whatever. But if you did a meeting a day, and let's say it took an hour to show, that's 7 hours a week. And if you're in Vemma, you want to know how you can get to, $1,000 a week, or $1,000 a day, or $50,000 a week, whatever you want to make. The point is that you've got to get into a culture, and we talk about a culture of where you can build. And I encourage you to get into having home events. And if you did one a day for about maybe an hour, I would scratch it. I don't think we should even have that long. Nobody wants to sit there for 2 hours. But the point is that if you get into having home events, 7 hours a week, guys, it's a hobby. That's the amount of time I go surfing. And the point is, don't expect these big incomes, these stories you're going to hear this weekend. Don't expect full-time income on part-time effort. It's not going to work. It won't happen. And some of you that work with me and many of the Vemma family that's been around, you know the time and the effort we put in, and the late nights, the calls, the meetings, the time and effort. But again, it's worth it. So create a culture within you and your team with your upline. I encourage you to home events and small meetings. That could be 3-way calls. Some have mastered the 3-way call. How you can share the story and explain the product and the concept over a quick call, and that person is either wanting to try the product or they're interested in getting more into the business and to what we're sharing. Also, one-on-one meetings. I'll tell you a secret, and I think it works, and it's non-debatable. Third-party credibility works every time. My dad, when I first started in Vemma, I remember this, and Jim Rogan would remember, I was working out with my coach and also mentor, Mr. Rogan, and he says, what do your parents do? And I'm like, I don't know, they have a vitamin drink called Vemma. I basically I learned not to throw up on people, just say less to more people. And so from that point, I just said, great pride, people's health results. From that point, I said, you gotta be my dad. He's doing pretty well. So I set the stage. I was able to do a 2-on-1 meeting, and I remember that. I didn't know that. But the point is, but that's the beauty of the business. You get support. What kind of deal can you get in this world where that if I grow, you grow? That's a great way to run a business. Oh yeah, that's a challenge. It's so debatable that if I can help people in my group grow, I grow. I don't feel that every day over 7 systems. But the point is that a 2-on-1 meeting or having a third party that leverage, it's the term hedging, that will help you build, it will help you grow, and it's going to raise that belief level, especially if you're new, because I remember reading with Alex, and I remember so many meetings that we did around Round Table. I was like, hey, I'm going to expose it, we close it. I'm going to expose it, we close it. And I just did that enough in 2-on-1 settings, so I was confident on my own. And then I realized I could really run it, and I could run faster without them around. Now, I always thank my parents for all the headaches and things I've run them, run their heads spinning, but it's great to be able to work with family and friends. But 2-on-1 meetings, guys, leverage the third party will help you, it will help you grow. And I promise you, the credibility is going to be a big part of helping you get on your way. Alright? And then teach 1 through 5 points. To each person. My dad said it when I first started, he said, Brad, if that guy's worth getting into the business, he's worth building, he's worth getting him going. Don't just get someone enrolled and leave them expecting to know what they're doing. They don't. If I'm the newest person, I'm looking for that coaching. I'm looking for that support. You know, that's the one thing, and Anthony talked about in leadership. There's so much counsel that you will need. Why? Because in Vemma, like everything else, there's a learning curve. There's a learning curve. I played basketball. It was my dream. You know, the whole dream of playing as an athlete. There's a learning curve in basketball. There's a learning curve in school. You know, I went to physics the first time, and I went in there with my book, and I started, you know, I walked in there, and you're not going to learn it all on the first day. When I left physics the last day of the year, I'm like, I'll never do that again. And the point being, though, there's a learning curve. And I still didn't get the learning curve on physics. But the point is, guys, teach 1 through 5 to each new person. You know, what I think about on a regular basis is that if I can help, if I can enroll new people, you can. If I can help my people or my team enroll their newest person, you can do that too. But then you got to be able to teach and lead or train someone on what to do or how to get started. And then you want to teach them how to do that. Teach the people in your team how to lead a new person. And if you focus on that kind of range on a regular basis, because remember, if you guys just did 1 home event a day, 7 hours a week, you guys, that's part-time. 2, maybe that's 14 hours a week. If you can see yourself putting 10 to 15 hours a week part-time, if you're new in the business, into Vemma, your life will change within the next 6 to 12 months. And it's happening to so many here today. And you're up, batter up. So my encouragement for you this weekend, you guys, and conclusion, dream big. You know, my mom said it, and it was something that BK's mom always said, but you gotta dream big. You know, dream big, you know, because small dreams have no magic. And I want you to leave here this week and dreaming and thinking about where you see yourself in 6 months to a year. Do you see yourself as a lead member in the black chairs? Do you see yourself an ambassador, you know, make 500 cycles and making well over a good six-figure income? Yeah. I see it for you too, man. But dream big, guys. People right now are looking, you know, they're looking for us. You will realize that when people start to hear the story, it is so compelling around Vemma and that job market, around the bird product, even with young people and the college market and the body. And you guys, we have so many things ahead in the store. You cannot miss a beat. If I were new and just getting started, I'd be on every call. I'd go on YouTube and watch all the videos. I would study it and study it. You think Kobe Bryant gets up and just goes and just plays? No. The guy gets up and he works at it every day. He works at it every day because he knows where he wants to be. He wants his result. He wants that final product. So you guys, for that, I really am excited. You know, dreaming big. You know, I got to tell you, Anthony said it. A dream board will help you. Put it over your bed, put it on your bathroom window, and start to focus on your future because what you think about grows. So my last thing I would encourage you, and I say this a lot, what's your priorities? You know, I was in Toronto and I met a young guy. I said, man, what's your priorities? He goes, well, yeah, where's all the Toronto team? And I said, well, what's your priorities? He goes, well, you know, I want to party in, girls, and hockey, you know, his family and school. I said, where's Vemma? Because here's the thing I'm going to challenge you this weekend. You know, mine is my spiritual life, my family time in Vemma. And I'm not perfect at that. I'm working towards that. But the point is, if you don't get your priorities in line, you're not going to get where you want to go. So what are your priorities here this weekend? Are you consistent? You know, one kid asked me, Brad, how have you gotten so successful in Vemma? I said, man, I'm trying to be consistent. People that know when I'm home, there's a home event in my house. When I'm home in town, I'm doing 2 or 3 home events a day. I do the same thing as everybody else in this room. The only difference that you and I have is I've been doing it longer. And in fact, I believe it's a better time for everybody here. Why? We have done everything that does not work, and we now know what's working. So get excited about that, because we're going to put you on the fast track to becoming a success story. And lastly, committed to your future. We put 4 years in a relationship. We put 4 years in basketball. Put 6 months or a year into your future, into the future of your family and your kids. Think about that. So what are your priorities? Are you consistent? Are you committed to your goal and the goal of your teams and the people in your group? And the point is, if you practice the fundamentals in sports, in school, in anything, it's fundamentals. And it's a culture, like Anthony talked about. And if you can practice these fundamentals and start to really get a culture going, what of telling your story? What's your story? Okay? Making the list, teaching and learning the invitation, and get excited because our story is so compelling. And you guys, this is going to be huge. So you excited about the revolution or what? I look forward to spending time with everybody this weekend and get a chance to know you. And I encourage you to say hi, take pictures, talk to the leadership group, guys. Take one thing from every elite member. Pick one thing if you can. That you can pick off, and you know, they say, and anything else, you take one thing, it's stealing, you take two, it's like studying. So take some things, this